Announcer bot is active. Frederick amps up from Italy in Forza Chicane. Larka Chicane is first driving a Mercedes-AMG GT3. Kyle Z32 from United States and S's is second on mediums, driving a BMW Z4. Deadly D4N13L from United States is P5, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Frederick amps up is first. Buggy from Zimbabwe in Mulsanne Strait. Hunotieres is third on softs, driving a BMW Z4. Frederick amps up is first. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Mulsanne Strait, Hunotieres is fifth on softs, driving a BMW Z4.
Kylis 32 in Mulsanne is second.
"20 minutes remaining in the session. Deadly D4NPL is P3. Kyle Z32 in Indianapolis is P1, driving a BMW Z4. Grandmaster Matt 44 is third. Buggy in S's is fourth, driving a Z4. Slappin' in S's is P6 on softs, driving a BMW Z4. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Porsche Curves is P2. Slappin' in Mulsanne Strait. Hunotieres is P4 on softs. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Dunlop Curve is P4. Frederick amps up in Mulsanne Kink is second. Grandmaster Mat 44 is fourth. Frederick Amps Up is second. Deadly D4N13L in Mulsanne Strait, Hunaudières is P6. Slappin' in Indianapolis is P3. Frederick Amps Up in Porsche Curves is P2. St. Dito is P5, driving a Porsche 911 GT3R. Kyle's 32 in Mulsanne Strait, Hunaudières is P4. St. Dito is P2. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Josh Fulton from United States in Forza Chicane, Lars Chicane, is third on softs, driving a Mercedes-AMG GT3. Slappin' in S's is sixth, driving a BMW Z4. St. Dito in Porsche Curves is P1. Slappin' in Mulsanne Strait, Hunaudières is sixth. Buggy in Michelin Chicane. La Florandière Chicane is P5. Grandmaster Mat 44 is third. St. Dito in S's is P8. Josh Fulton in Michelin Chicane, La Florandière Chicane is P5. St. Dito in Mulsanne Strait, Hunaudières is P7. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Porsche Curves is second. Slappin is P4. Kyle Z32 is 7th, driving a Z4. Slappin' Corvette is 1st. Grandmaster Matt 44 in S's is 6th. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P5, driving a Z4. Frederick Amps Up in Porsche Curves is 3rd. Saint Dito in Porsche Curves is 3rd. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Josh Fulton is 7th. Buggy in Mulsanne Kink is 5th. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P3 on softs. Saint Dito in S's is 7th. Josh Fulton in Michelin Chicane, La Florandière Chicane, is 5th, driving an AMG. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P3 on softs. Frederick Amps Up in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P5. Josh Fulton is 4th. Saint Dito is 5th. Slapping in Mulsanne straight. Grenadier's second best lap is a 4:02.394. Deadly D4N 13L is P6, driving a Huracan. Josh Fulton in Dunlop Curve is P2. Best lap is a 4:01.626. Deadly D4N13L in Indianapolis is P6. Buggy in Mulsanne straight. Grenadiers is 8th, driving a BMW Z4. Josh Fulton in Mulsanne straight. Grenadiers is 2nd. Five minutes remaining in the session. Deadly D4N13L in Corvette is P6. Buggy is P7 on softs. Deadly D4N13L from United States is P9. Buggy in Arnage is 7th. Slappin is P3. Frederick amps up in Michelin chicane. La Florandière chicane is P4. Best lap is a 4:10.049. Buggy from Zimbabwe in Ford chicanes is 6th. St. Dito in Mulsanne is P5. Best lap is a 4:14.635. Josh Fulton is P2. Kyle Z32 in Forza chicane. Lark chicane is 6th. Uggy in Mulsanne Strait, Hunaudières is P8. Frederick Amps Up in Porsche Curves is 4th. Slappin in Arnage is P3, driving a BMW Z4. Deadly D4N13L is P7. Kyle's Z32 is P6. Deadly D4N13L from United States in Arnage is 7th. Buggy in Indianapolis is 8th. Deadly D4N13L in Porsche Curves is 7th. Josh Fulton is 2nd. Deadly D4N13L in Ford Chicanes is P6, driving a Lambo. Grandmaster Matt 44 is 1st. Best lap is a 4:01.297. Deadly D4N13L in S's is P8. Frederick Amps Up is P5. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Ford Chicanes is P1. Frederick Amps Up is P5. The qualification session is at Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans. Green turf is okay, blue and yellow is taboo. In Le Mans, France, the wind speed is 1 km/h from the east-northeast. Kyle Z32, from United States and Dunlop Chicane, is first driving a BMW Z4. Saint Dito is P5, driving a Porsche 911 GT3R. Buggy, from Zimbabwe, is fourth, driving a BMW Z4. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is P1. Buggy in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is fourth. Josh Fulton, from the United States in Esses, is P7, driving a Mercedes-AMG GT3. Kyle Z32 is second. Buggy from Zimbabwe in Mulsanne is fourth. Slappin is P3, driving a BMW Z4. Buggy in Indianapolis is P4. Saint Dito in Indianapolis is P6, driving a 911 GT3R. Slappin' in Porsche Curves is second, driving a BMW Z4. Buggy in Porsche Curves is fourth. Slappin' in Ford Chicanes is P1. Kyle Z32 is ninth, driving a BMW Z4. Buggy in Dunlop Curve is P7, up 10.72, driving a BMW Z4. Buggy is up 11.06 in Tertre Rouge. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Buggy is up 11.36 in Forza Chicane, Lark Chicane. Buggy is up 11.53 in Michelin Chicane, La Florandière Chicane. Buggy is up 11.64 in Mulsanne. Buggy is up 12.75 in Indianapolis. Buggy is up 12.61 in Porsche curves. Buggy is up 11.67 in Corvette. Slappin' in Dunlop curve is second. Buggy in Dunlop Chicane is P1 up 0.17. Best lap is a 4:00.542. Buggy is up 0.46 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières. Buggy is up 0.27 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières. Buggy is up 0.25 in Michelin Chicane, La Florandière Chicane. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Buggy is up 0.30 in Mulsanne. Buggy is up 0.10 in Indianapolis. Slappin in Indianapolis is third up 0.43. Buggy is second up 0.17. Buggy is up 0.66 in Maison Blanche. Buggy improved to second with a 359.718, .622 off pole. Kyle Z32 in Corvette is P6, up 10.51, driving a Z4. Deadly D4N13L from United States in Mulsanne Kink is P5, up .52 on mediums, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Best lap is a 4:03.936, 4.840 off pole. Deadly D4N13L is up 0.65 in Indianapolis. Deadly D4N13L is up 0.76 in Porsche curves. Deadly D4N13L is up 0.72 in Maison Blanche. Ten minutes remaining in the session. AHS3N from Canada is 7th up, 6.77 driving a Ferrari 488 GT3. AHS3N is up 6.37 in Arnage. HS3N is up 6.41 in Porsche curves. AHS3N is up 6.33 in Maison Blanche. Frederick Amps Up from Italy is P6 up 1.21, driving a Mercedes-AMG GT3. Frederick Amps Up is up 0.96 in Arnage. Frederick Amps Up is up 0.80 in Porsche curves. Frederick Amps Up is up 1.45 in Corvette. Frederick Amps Up improved as 6th with a 4:04.788, 5.692 off pole. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is third up 0.46, driving a BMW Z4. Grandmaster Matt 44 is up 0.83 in Mulsanne Tink. Grandmaster Matt 44 is up 1.07 in Indianapolis. Five minutes remaining in the session. Grandmaster Matt 44 is up 0.92 in Porsche curves. Grandmaster Mat 44 is up 1.06 in Corvette. Grandmaster Mat 44 is provisional pole with a 359.545. Grandmaster Mat 44 is up 0.01 in Dunlop curve. Frederick Amps Up is P6.
Frederick Amps Up is up 0.23 in Porsche curves.
360 Cod from Jamaica in Arnage is P8 up 2.06 on softs, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Frederick Amps Up in start finish is P6. 360 Cod in Maison Blanche is 7th, up 2.33, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Grandmaster Mat 44 in Mulsanne Kink is P2, up 0.52. Grandmaster Mat 44 is up 0.50 in Indianapolis. Grandmaster Mat 44 is up 0.56 in Porsche curves. Grandmaster Mat 44 is up 0.54 in Corvette. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Grandmaster Mat 44 is provisional pole with a 358.603. Deadly D4 and 13L in Porsche curves is 6th, up 0.22. Deadly D4 N13L improved is fourth with a 402.460, 0.3.857 off pole. Frederick Amps Up in Porsche Curves is seventh up, 1.26. Frederick Amps Up improved is P7 with a 404.402, 0.5.799 off pole. 360 COD in Ford Chicanes is P5. .360 COD improved is fifth with a 402.728, 0.4.125 off pole. AS3N in Porsche Curves is eighth up, 0.43%. Aha's 3N is up 0.11 in Maison Blanche. AHS3N is up 0.03 in Dunlop Curve. AHS3N is up 0.17 in Tertre Rouge. AHS3N is up 0.59 in Forza Chicane, L'Arch Chicane. The race session is at Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans. Green turf is okay. Blue and yellow is taboo. In Le Mans, France, the wind speed is 18 km/h from the east. Josh Fulton is P1. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P2, driving a BMW Z4. Buggy from Zimbabwe is P3, driving a BMW Z4. Deadly D4N13L from United States is P4, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. 360 Cod from Jamaica is 5th, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Slappin is 6th, driving a BMW Z4. Frederick Ampsup from Italy is 7th on mediums, driving a Mercedes AMG GT3. 60 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Josh Fulton is first. 360 Cod in Dunlop Curve is third. AS3N from Canada in Dunlop Chicane is 5th, driving a Ferrari 488 GT3. Josh Fulton from the United States in S's is P2 on softs, driving a Mercedes AMG GT3. Buggy in Tertre Rouge is 2nd. Deadly D4N13L is 5th. Deadly D4N13L is now 4th. Buggy in Forza Chicane. Lars Chicane is P2. Deadly D4N13L in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is P4. Frederick Ampsup in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is 5th. Deadly D4N13L in Michelin Chicane. La Florandier Chicane is P4. Frederick Ampsup in Mulsanne Kink is 5th, 0.7 behind Deadly D4N13L. Deadly D4N13L from United States is 4th, 0.6 behind Grandmaster Matt 44. Frederick Ampsup in Mulsanne is P5. Deadly D4N13L is 4th. Frederick Ampsup from Italy is 5th, 0.7 behind Deadly D4N13L. Deadly D4N13L from the United States in Arnage is P4, 0.6 behind Grandmaster Matt 44. Kyle's Z32 from the United States in Arnage is P7, driving a BMW Z4, 0.4 behind AS3N. Frederick amps up in Porsche curves is 5th, driving an AMG GT3, 0.8 behind Deadly D4N13 out. AHS3N in Porsche curves is 7th, driving a 488, 0.3 behind Kyle Z32. Slappin in Maison Blanche on lap 1 is 8th, 0.5 behind Oz3N. AHS3 in Ford chicanes is 8th, 0.2 behind Slappin. Slappin in start finish is 7th, 0.2 behind Kyle's 32. Kyle Z32 in Dunlop chicane is 7th. Best lap is a 4:22.736, 14.747 off the fastest lap. Kyle Z32 lost 7th to AHS3N. 55 minutes remaining in the session. Slappin is 7th, driving a Z4, 0.2 behind AS3N. Slappin passed Oz3N for 6th. Oz3N in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P7, 0.7 behind Slappin. .360 COD in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is 10th. Best lap is a 4:37.967, 29.978 off the fastest lap. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P8, 1.4 behind AHS3N. .360 COD in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P10, 1.3 behind St. Dido. Kyle Z32 is 8th, 1.4 behind AHS3N. .360 COD is P-10, 0.2 behind St. Dido. Slappin is 6th, 0.9 behind Frederick Amsup. Slappin passed Frederick Amsup for P5. Frederick Amsup in Arnage is 6th, 0.3 behind Slappin. Kyle Z32 is P8. Frederick Amsup in Porsche curves is P6, 0.6 behind Slappin. Kyle Z32 in Maison Blanche is 8th, 2.7 behind ASS3N. Frederick Amsup in start-finish is 6th, 1.2 behind Slappin. Saint Dito in start-finish is P10, driving a Porsche 911 GT3R, 4.6 behind 360 COG. Deadly D4N 13L is fourth, 5.0 ahead of Slappin. .360 COD in Tertre Rouge is ninth. Buggy from Zimbabwe in Mulsanne Strait, Hunadiers, is P2, 2.9 behind Josh Fulton. .50 minutes remaining in the session. Deadly D, 4N13L in Michelin Chicane, La Florandière Chicane is P4. Josh Fulton in Mulsanne is first on softs, 2.8 ahead of Buggy. AHS2N is P7, driving a Ferrari 488 GT3, 2.4 ahead of Kyle's S32. Buggy in Indianapolis is second, 3.6 behind Josh Fulton. Deadly D4NTL in Indianapolis is P-4, driving a Lambo, 2.8 ahead of Slappin. Deadly D4N13L lost fourth to Slappin. AHS3N in Indianapolis is 7th, 2.2 ahead of Kyle's at 32. Deadly D4N13L in Porsche Curves on lap 3 is 5th, 1.0 behind Slappin. Deadly D4N13L lost 5th to Frederick Amsup. Kyle Z32 in Porsche Curves is 8th, driving a BMW Z4 2.0 behind Deadly D4N13L. Deadly D4N13L in Maison Blanche is P8, 0.1 behind Kyla's 32. Deadly D4N13L lost P8 to 360 COD. Slappin in Dunlop Chicane is P4. Best lap is a 4:05.246, 5.324 off the fastest lap. Frederick amps up in S's is P5. Kyla's 32 S's is 7th, driving a BMW Z4, 2.6 ahead of 360 COD.
Frederick amps up in Mulsanne straight.
Hunaudiers is 5th on mediums. Saint Dito in Mulsanne straight. Hunaudiers is P9 driving a Porsche 911 GT3R. AH3N in Mulsanne straight. Hunaudiers is P6, 2.3 ahead of Kyle's 32. AHS3N was 0.6 faster last lap. Frederick amps up in Mulsanne Kink is 5th driving the AMG GT3. Kyle's 32 is P7 driving a BMW Z4, 1.5 behind ASH3N. ASH3N was 0.6 faster last lap. 45 minutes remaining in the session. Saint Dito is 9th. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P3 driving a BMW Z4. .360 COD in Indianapolis is P7, 0.8 behind Kyle's 32. Kyle Z32 on lap 4 is 6th, 0.6 ahead of 360 COD. .360 COD in Porsche Curves is P7. Best lap is a 4:07.537, 7.615 off the fastest lap.
Slappin entering the pits is P4.
Slappin is P4. Grandmaster Matt 44 in S's is P3. Kyle Z32 is 5th driving a BMW Z4. Slappin is P7. Slappin exiting pits. Saint Dito in Dunlop Chicane is P8, 2.2 behind Slappin. Josh Fulton in Michelin Chicane, La Florandière Chicane is 1st. Slappin in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudière is 7th, 4.3 ahead of Saint Dito. Kylis 32 in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudière is 5th, 3.9 ahead of 360 COD. Slappin in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is 7th, 4.9 ahead of St. Dito. Josh Fulton in Arnage is P1. Slappin is P7. Josh Fulton in Porsche Curves is P1. "40 minutes remaining in the session." Buggy in Corvette is P2, 3.3 ahead of Grandmaster Matt 44. Grandmaster Matt 44 was 2.0 faster last lap. Grandmaster Matt 44 in start finish is P3, 3.8 behind Buggy. Kyle Z32 in Porsche Curves is P5, 1.8 ahead of 360 COD. Kyle Z32 was 1.0 faster last lap. .360 COD from Jamaica in Ford Chicanes is P6, 1.5 behind Kyle Z32. Slappin in Ford Chicanes is 7th, driving a Z4. Kyle Z32 is P6, 0.1 behind 360 COD. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is 3rd driving a Z4, 2.2 behind Buggy. Slappin is 7th. .360 COD from Jamaica in Forza Chicane. Lark Chicane is P6, 0.1 behind Kyle's 32. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Mulsanne is P3, 1.5 behind Buggy. .360 COD in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is 6th, 0.7 behind Kyle's 32. .360 COD was 2.3 faster last lap. Grandmaster Matt 44 is 3rd, 1.4 behind Buggy. .360 COD in Mulsanne on lap 6 is P6, 0.8 behind Kyle's 32. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P3, 1.5 behind Buggy. Grandmaster Matt 44 was 2.7 faster last lap. 360 COD is P6, 0.5 behind Kyle's 32. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Corvette on lap 6 is third, 1.1 behind Buggy. .360 COD on lap 6 is 6th, 0.6 behind Kyle's 32. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Dunlop Curve is third, driving a BMW Z4, 0.7 behind Buggy. Grandmaster Matt 44 was 2.9 faster last lap. Josh Fulton is first on softs. 35 minutes remaining in the session. Buggy in Tertre Rouge on lap 7 is P3, 0.5 behind Grandmaster Matt 44. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudiers is second, 1.3 ahead of Buggy. .360 COD in S's is sixth, 2.6 behind Kyle's 32. Frederick amps up in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudiers is fourth. Grandmaster Matt 44 is second, driving a BMW Z4, 2.9 ahead of Buggy. Kyle's Z32 in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudiers is P5, 2.4 ahead of .360 COD. Frederick amps up is P4, driving a AMG GT3. Slappin in Michelin Chicane. La Florendière Chicane is P7. .360 COD in Mulsanne on lap 7 is sixth, 1.3 behind Kyle Z32. St. Dido is eighth. Josh Fulton, entering the pits, is first. Josh Fulton is first. Grandmaster Matt 44, entering the pits, is P2. St. Dido is 8th, well. Grandmaster Matt 44 is second. Best lap is a 4:02.449, 2.594 off the fastest lap. Josh Fulton exiting pits on softs. Buggy is first. Frederick Amsup exiting pits on mediums. .360 Cod in Ford chicanes is sixth, driving a Lamborghini Huracan GT3, 0.9 behind Kyle's 32. Grandmaster Matt 44 exiting pits. 360 Cod entering the pits is sixth. Frederick Amsup is P4. St. Dito in Porsche curves is eighth. Best lap is a 4:14.473, 14.618 off the fastest lap. Frederick Amsup is sixth.
Frederick Amsup exiting pits on mediums.
30 minutes remaining in the session. Frederick Amsup passed 360 Cod for fifth. Kyle Z32 is seventh. Kyle Z32 exiting pits. 360 Cod exiting pits. Kyle Z32 passed 360 Cod for P6. 360 Cod from Jamaica in S's is seventh, 1.4 behind Kyle's 32. Kyle S32 from United States in Tertre Rouge is P6, 1.9 ahead of 360 Cod. St. Dito in Mulsanne Strait. Huno Diers is 8th, 4.3 behind 360 Cod. 360 Cod was 7.7 faster last lap. .360 Cod in Forza chicane. Lark chicane is P7. Best lap is a 4:06.467. 6.612 off the fastest lap. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P3. .360 Cod in Michelin chicane. La Florandière chicane is 7th, 1.3 behind Kyle's 32. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne is P6, driving a BMW Z4, 1.2 ahead of 360 Cod. Josh Fulton in Ford chicanes is first. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Maison Blanche on lap 8 is P3, 4.4 behind Buggy. Buggy exiting pits. Buggy is second. Josh Fulton is P1, driving an AMG GT3. Frederick amps up in Ford chicanes is 5th. Buggy exiting pits. Slapping in S's is 3rd. St. Dito entering the pits is P8. Frederick amps up in S's is 5th, driving a AMG GT3, 1.3 behind Buggy. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is 2nd, driving a Z4. "25 minutes remaining in the session. 360 COD is P7, 4.3 behind Kyle Z 32. St. Dito exiting pits. Josh Fulton is 1st. St. Dito in S's on lap 9 is 8th. Buggy is P4, 2.9 ahead of Frederick amps up. Slappin is P3 driving a Z4. Buggy is 4th, 3.0 ahead of Frederick amps up. Buggy was 7.5 faster last lap. Josh Fulton is 1st driving a AMG GT3. Frederick amps up is P5, 3.4 behind Buggy. Buggy in Porsche Curves is P4, 3.9 ahead of Frederick amps up. Grandmaster Matt 44 in S's is 2nd, driving a Z4. Frederick amps up in start-finish is P5, driving an AMG, 4.5 behind Buggy. .360 COD in start-finish is 7th, 2.0 behind Kyle's 32. Kyle's 32 was 1.3 faster last lap. St. Dito in Porsche Curves is 8th. Kyle's 32 in S's is P6, 1.3 ahead of 360 COD. 360 COD was 1.0 faster last lap. Kyle's 32 lost 6th to 360 COD. Frederick amps up in Forza chicane. Large chicane is P5. Best lap is a 407.474. 7.619 off the fastest lap. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P7, 0.1 behind 360 COD. 360 COD in Forza chicane, Large chicane is P6, 0.7 ahead of Kyle's 32. 360 COD lost P6 to Kyle's E32. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Indianapolis on lap 10 is second. St. Dito in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is 8th. Buggy is P4. Best lap is a 400.844, 0.989 off the fastest lap. St. Dito in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is 8th. Slappin in Porsche Curves is P3, driving a Z4. St. Dito is P8. Slappin exiting pits. Slappin is P3. Frederick amps up, entering the pits, is 5th. Frederick amps up in start-finish is P5 on mediums. St. Dito in Indianapolis is 8th, driving a Porsche 911 GT3R. Slappin is 4th. Slappin exiting pits. Kyle S32 in Dunlop Curve is 5th, driving a Z4, 0.8 behind Slappin. Frederick amps up, exiting pits. Slappin in S's is P4, 1.0 ahead of Kyle Z32. Kyle's 32 from United States is P5, 1.4 behind Slappin. Grandmaster Matt 44 is second. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is 5th, 1.5 behind Slappin. Slappin in Michelin Chicane, La Florendière Chicane, is P4, 1.6 ahead of Kyle Z32. Josh Fulton entering the pits is first. Josh Fulton is first. "15 minutes remaining in the session. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Porsche Curves is P2. Josh Fulton from United States is P1. Josh Fulton exiting pits. Grandmaster Matt 44 in start finish is second. Frederick Amsup in Arnage is P6. Josh Fulton in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is P1. Kyle Z32 in Maison Blanche is P5, 3.4 behind Slappin. Slappin was 5.4 faster last lap. .360 COD in Porsche Curves is 7th. Buggy in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is P3. Kyle Z32 in S's is 5th. Kyle Z32 lost 5th to Frederick Amsup. Frederick Amsup is P6. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P2. Josh Fulton on lap 12 is first. Kyle Z32 in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, is P5, driving a Z4. Saint Dito in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières, on lap 12 is 8th. Buggy in Arnage is P3. .360 cod from Jamaica is P7. Kyle Z32 in Indianapolis is P5. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Slappin in Porsche Curves is 4th, driving a Z4. Frederick amps up is P6. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Forza Chicane. Larcha Chicane is 2nd. Kyle Z32 from United States in Ford Chicanes is P5. .360 cod in Porsche Curves is P7. St. Dido in Porsche Curves is 8th, driving a 911 GT3R. .360 cod is 7th, driving a Huracan. Kyle's 32 in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is 5th. St. Dido in Dunlop Curve is P8. Grandmaster Matt 44 is P2. Buggy in Indianapolis is 3rd. Frederick amps up is P6, driving an AMG GT3. Josh Fulton in S's is 1st. Frederick amps up is P6. Saint Dido in Michelin chicane. La Florandière chicane is 8th.
Frederick amps up in Porsche curves is 6th. Five minutes remaining in the session.
Grand Master Mat 44 in Forza chicane. L'Arche chicane is 2nd. Josh Fulton is P1. Kyle Z32 from United States in Dunlop chicane is 5th, 3.1 ahead of Frederick amps up.
.360 COD in Ford chicanes is 7th. Frederick amps up in S's is 6th.
.360 COD in Dunlop chicane is P7, driving a Huracan. Saint Dido in start-finish is 8th. .360 COD in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is P7. Josh Fulton in start-finish is P1. .360 COD in Mulsanne Straight. Hunaudières is P7. Grandmaster Mat 44 entering the pits is P2. Grandmaster Mat 44 is 2nd. Frederick amps up is P6. Kyle Z32 in Arnage is P5. Grandmaster Mat 44 exiting pits. Buggy in S's is P2. Josh Fulton in Michelin chicane. La Florandière chicane is P1. Best lap is a 3:58.520. Saint Dido is 8th. Kyle Z32 in start-finish is P5 driving a Z4. Buggy in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is P2. .360 Cod in Ford Chicanes is 7th, driving a Huracan GT3. .360 Cod entering the pits is 7th. Frederick amps up in Mulsanne Straight, Hunaudières is 6th. .360 Cod is 7th. .360 Cod exiting pits. The leader has just finished the race. Josh Fulton finished first. St. Dito finished P8. Buggy is P2. Buggy finished P2. Grandmaster Matt 44 finished 3rd. Slappin is P4. Slappin finished P4. Kyle Z32 is 5th. Kyle Z32 finished 5th. Frederick amps up finished 6th. .360 Cod is P7. 360 COD finished P7,